What's up, everybody? I hope everybody out there is having a great day. I know I'm having a great day. Hectic day, but a great day nonetheless. Out here in the barn, I got some stuff to get done, and I figured I'd bring you guys along. It is going to be an interesting journey over the next few days, next week or so, and I'll catch you up to speed on that here in just a little bit. But obviously, you guys know, Austin and I freaking picked up 2 new Pro Rs, and man, are these things freaking badass. I mean, seriously, they're incredible. This thing is freaking literally bone stock, aside from the Stage 5 Rockford Fosgate system. And well, main reason I'm out here, first off, I want to thank all of you guys for the freaking awesome response to the video we just dropped. You know, pretty much the update. A lot of comments in there, a lot of entries for the freaking rugged V3 handset, and I think that's awesome, and we appreciate that, and we look forward to dropping a lot more videos. So very cool. And I want to say a big shout out and thanks to everybody that hit us up on Instagram to let us know about that guy that was trying to scam everybody, man. Jeez, oh Pete, these people. Thank you guys for making that aware, and then luckily I was able to block him off the channel and get rid of that dude, because we don't need no scamming shit going on here. That's not what we're about. But anyways, where I was at. And thanks for getting us to 2,000 subscribers. I would love to see by middle of this year, at least by the end of this year, at least 3,000 subscribers. So I think that'd be awesome. But if you guys can help out with that, share the videos, and don't forget to post and comment and like them and all that good stuff, man. It's huge. We appreciate it. So anyways, I'm not gonna go into all the major details about this thing. The Pro Rs have been out for a long enough time. You guys all know what it's about. But what I do need to tell you is that it's bone stock, aside from that Fosgate system, which sounds amazing. I wish you guys could sit in this thing and listen to it. It is incredible. And with that Stage 5, you basically get the upgraded rear speakers, you get the upgraded tweeters here, and then you get the freaking upgraded dash speakers, which are in here, and then you get this monster freaking 400 watt bass pounding 12-inch subwoofer that really freaking puts out some bass. I gotta be honest, this thing rocks. I mean, it's loud. One thing I will tell you that I didn't know prior to ordering the freaking Stage 5 system, but if I had known, I might not have went with it. I probably would have went with the 10-inch subwoofer that I have in the Ghost. Reason being, that 12-inch eliminates your freaking glove box. And man, I did not know that. I wish I had known that. It's kind of a bummer to me, because I really used that in the Ghost. I store a bunch of stuff in there, and Amy uses that when she's sitting shotgun. So I'm kind of bummed about that, but it is what it is. I'm not going to change it now. But had I known that, I probably would have stuck with the 10, because even in the Ghost, I mean, that system sounds incredible. But enough about that. It is what it is. I'll just add some extra storage somewhere else. The other reason I'm out here is because I got to get my ass moving. Literally, you guys probably already know, those that have followed us, over the years, our life's crazy with the stores, the kids, the rentals, all the crap that we got going on. You just never know. You never know what your day is going to be, literally. I mean, I could have my day set in stone and think it's going to be what it is, and I got, all the things I'm going to do, and then bam, 10 minutes later, something happens, and all that gets thrown out the window, and I got other stuff to do. So that's just the way it goes, and that also goes that way sometimes with our trail riding, or, whatever places we decide to go off-roading and stuff like that. And you guys already know, we made such good friends with all the guys out west during Camp Razor, Jason, Seth, Harach, Yusuf, Sean, Mike, Rico. Those dudes are awesome. And ever since that trip, we've all maintained contact. We text each other all the time, talk on the phone, whatever, send each other shit. And since Glamis, we've kind of joked around, oh, we gotta come back out here for President's Day weekend, do that whole thing. But it's a big trip, it takes a lot to go out and do that. And with everything that we've had going on recently, it pretty much, there was no way that was going to happen. And the crazy thing is, late last night, about 10:30, 10:45 last night, we're all sitting around talking. Well, amongst all of us, we decided, let's just do it. You know what I mean? Let's just go to Glamis. So literally late last night we decided we're going to Glamis for President's Day weekend, and that's literally, we'd have to leave in like 5 days. So I haven't done anything to this. I got to get light bars on here. I got to get some other stuff on here that I've ordered, and I just can't waste any more time. I got to get it going. We got to get loading this stuff up. So that's what I'm going to do. I got stuff to put on this. I don't think I'm going to have time to do any like real installs videos per se. I'm kind of bummed about that because I had planned on doing that, but you know, I'm under the gun, so I got to get moving. But I can tell you some of the stuff I'm going to put on it. For example, right here, I got a box from Double Ot. If you guys look them up, they sell what the heck do they call that? They call it wheel block offs, but I kind of call it a fender block off plate or whatever. But anyways, you see that opening that's in like the Pro XP's Pro R right here? Basically a plate that's gonna go in there and block that off, so we're not flinging a shit ton of mud right up through that thing, you know, basically coating the door, possibly into the cab. So yeah, I'm gonna block that off. And then also in that box is the valance pieces that freaking lock onto the bottom of the door. And when those go on there, it's basically gonna clear or cover up this open gap right here. So not gonna be that big of a deal, you know, out in Glamis, but when we're riding in West Virginia, Tennessee and stuff like that, you know, both of those block off plates are gonna be crucial. I got a winch I gotta get on there. And then these two boxes here, I got 2 of the Polaris lock and ride storage totes. Same thing of what I got like on the Ghost. So I got the big one in the back, and I got the one in the front. And for those that don't know, obviously with this freaking beast 4-cylinder engine, this bed is not as deep as it is on a Pro XP. So I mean, the storage is gonna be nice. It's just not gonna be as deep as I'm used to. But you know, that's cool, because whatever. I need the storage. It is what it is. Obviously, gunner's going up the road. Got to sell this thing. And a couple days ago, I spent about 2 hours on this. And man, I washed it, I cleaned it, I scrubbed every aspect of it. Literally looks like, honestly, a pretty new machine. It looks really freaking good. And what I'm going to do is, before I put it up for sale, I'm definitely taking my seats out, especially since they've been embroidered, you know, with Lulu's Offroad. I'm going to take those out, put the stockers back in there, and then throw those in there. And then pretty much everything else I'm going to leave on this thing when I sell it. No reason taking it off. You know, I'll give somebody that light bar and, you know, the grills, and, you know, I got the shock therapy and the tune and the springs and all that stuff. And, well, you guys know what's on that thing. We're leaving the rest of it on there. One other thing I might take off is these freaking M1 Evils. Obviously, with the short amount of time before we leave for Glamis, I don't think that we're going to have time to order rims and new paddles and get that all squared away, because all the ones that we do have up in storage here, you know, fit the standard 4-lug razor bolt pattern. So we're kind of screwed as far as that goes. I guess we could just pull the tires off these rims and put the paddles on, but I'm not going to mess with that. I don't got time for it. But I am possibly going to take these M1 Evils off and switch them onto my stock rims. If I have time, I'll do that. If not, it is what it is. The other things we got here, we got PRP door bags. Obviously, I got to make up for that glove box, and which I'd probably have done these anyways. But yeah, these are going to be really nice. Got the 2 pockets. It's got the knee pad in that, and so that's going to be cool. We're going to get those on there. I got, there's the other one. I have light bar harnesses and stuff like that. I am going to put on this rear chase light. I've actually had that for over a year. I was going to put that on Gunner, and I never got around to it. So I'm just going to put it on the Pro R. So it's going to be perfect. I do have a whole set of 5150 of whips and all the ground lights. So we're going to get that all wired in. I got an entire freaking rugged radios kit, which is going to be critical. I got to have that out there. So I'm going to get that all wired into the car. And then I got the front camera for the Pro R. And I got a turn signal kit, same one that I put in the Ghost, except for this one actually incorporates the entire headlights. So the turn signal will be in the headlights versus putting in like those 3 LEDs that I put on the Ghost. So that's going to be cool. That was the whips. I got XTC power controller, which has got like the 6 ports. You know, I wire that in, and then we wire all of our accessories just to that. So that's pretty much about it, which is going to be plenty enough work to do. and hopefully I'll get it all done. But like I said, I'm not gonna be able to do full install videos on this, but you know, I think you guys understand. Hopefully we can get it done. But and I also have decals coming for this thing. You might have noticed the P's ripped off here. Well, I ripped that off. I gave it to my vinyl girl, and hopefully she's gonna match that up with what I'm trying to do here. But she said she didn't have anything reflective or shiny like this. She's just gonna print it, so it's not gonna be perfect, but should be good enough for this trip, because I do think, actually I know it, I'm gonna paint this thing. I know a lot of you guys are saying keep the blue, and it is beautiful. I love the blue, but red's my color. So I gotta make it red. It is what it is. And one of the bigger factors that are pushing me to do that, let alone from just liking red that much, growing up, my dad, he owned a body shop, and me and my sister, when we were younger, we used to like hang out at that body shop. My dad would be painting cars, doing body work, that whole deal, and it's pretty awesome. He's helped me throughout the years with some of my vehicles. If I had an accident or I wanted to do custom stuff, you know, he's always helped me paint that stuff. And I don't get to see my dad as often as I'd like to, be in the distance from where we're at and this and that. But I called him up. I said, hey, I'd love it if we could get together and freaking do this together. And he's like, I'm in, bud, whatever it takes. So I'm working on figuring out a place where we can set up a paint booth, get all the stuff we need to do it. And yeah, my dad's gonna come up here and we're gonna strip this thing down and we're gonna paint it. So it will be red eventually, and I'm pretty pumped to be able to do that with my dad. So that is gonna be a fun project. Other than that, that's about it. Heading to Glamis. I can't believe this. I can't believe it. So without further ado, I'm gonna put the camera down and I'm gonna start working on this thing. I'll jump back on here, give you a few updates here and there, but other than that, I'm just gonna knock it out. All right? All right, guys, so I got that freaking PRP door bag on. So first freaking project completed, at least on the driver's side. Looks really good. Got a pouch right here on top. It's also got a knee pad, but if you want, you can remove the pad and then have another pouch there. So pretty cool. I like them. They look good. I love the carbon fiber. Super easy to install. I will tell you, in the box, I did not get any instructions, but really, after just kind of looking at this real quick, it's pretty simple deal. Literally just removed, I don't know, let's see, removed 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 screws, just enough so I can separate this a little bit. I didn't take the back screws off, leaving it attached. I basically just freaking stretched this out. I slid the door bag in, and then you just line up the holes, put the same bolts in that you took out, boom, it's done. So super simple, looks really good. And I'm gonna finish this one and move on. Back for an update. Obviously, I got the door bags on, and then I got the double lot bottom valance, I guess you want to call it. Actually, that went on in about 5 seconds. I like it. I just don't love, like, I don't know. The freaking gap is much bigger back here than it is there. You probably can't really see it, but trust me, I just like when lines follow, you know, the angle of something, you know. And then on the other side, it's even worse. Actually, at the freaking tip at the front, it almost hits that traction pad. So it's kind of annoying. So I wonder, when this thing's jostling around and we're ripping, is that gonna be freaking basically digging into that traction pad and eventually probably gonna gouge it out. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to file that a little bit. That's pretty annoying. Anyways, went ahead, stripped the car a little bit, got the fenders off, rocker panel, the hood, all that good stuff. I went ahead and put the rigid light bar on. I didn't think you guys needed to freaking follow me along with that. It's pretty simple, and yeah, works great, looks good. And just to show you that it does work, there it is, freaking ready to go. So super pumped. I think I got the angle right. We'll see when we get to the dunes. One thing I will note though is, man, I really hate seeing wires and stuff. I'm actually really particular about that, and I hate the fact that this is up here so high. But I really didn't have a choice. Where I wanted to come down, basically directly behind the light bar in this area, I got this rail, so that wasn't gonna work. And then I didn't want to come through here and then come under, or I guess I could have came through there. I probably should have came through there and then just come up over between this freaking foam. That probably would have been the better deal. So whatever, if you're doing this, I'd do that. If you're, you know, kind of particular about, you know, wire showing and stuff like that. I wish I had thought about that. I was getting tired last night and I just wanted to get it done, and yeah, that sucks. But anyways, it's cool. So I ended up wiring that in there. Then I ended up getting it into the cage and got it down, so nice and clean. Then what did I do next? Then I went ahead and I installed the rigid chase light, which I think that thing is slick, dude. It's just got such a good look to it, and it looks so good on the back there. I mean, I'm really excited about that. But thank you, Polaris, for not leaving anywhere to run wires through this cage. I'm actually extremely annoyed. There's a hole right there in the back, which, you know, I'm fine. I don't know what I'd use that for, because obviously, you know, that tube goes to a dead end, and I guess you could run it all the way to the front, but I don't know. We'll see what I use that for. I don't know what I would need that for. Honestly, I don't know what I'd need it for at all. But we'll see what happens. But the point I was making is, this chase light, in their directions, I am not bullshitting you, they literally want you to loop the wire on the cage and zip tie it. Like, I don't know about you guys. Maybe some of y'all don't care about that, but there is no way in hell I'm gonna have freaking zip ties on the outside of my cage. No way. Absolutely not. So, after really going through this and trying to figure out my best avenue, I went ahead, I got a freaking taper bit, and I just put in my own hole here. And then I took, well, I'm stepping up right now. I'm hitting this inside tube, or the outside side of this tube, with drill bits. I'm just kind of stepping it up, trying to make the hole bigger. And I'm gonna basically run the wire from this chase light up here, through this foam, into here, down through this. I'm gonna drill a hole on the outside of this cage right here, and then I'm gonna drop in right here in the engine compartment. So, super clean, you won't see any wires, and that's what I'm going for. So it's just like I did with the Ghost. If you guys actually really, if you ever see that thing, take a look at, you know, what I did. I mean, I literally grommeted everything. Everything is freaking concealed. You don't see a wire on that machine anywhere. It's beautiful. So going to try to do the same thing here. It's just going to take me a little bit of time, but that's the update. I'm going to keep on drilling and try to get that thing wired in, and then probably move on to the Underglow 5150 whips, or maybe even, maybe I'll probably tackle the rugged radios, because I want to make sure my antennas ran around, you know, keep it away from any kind of power sources, wires, anything like that. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Just depends on what I'm feeling like and what I'm more anxious to see get done. So yeah, keep it all moving. All right, guys. So I think I got through both sides. So I got my hole here for my grommet, and then I got my interior hole, which I will be able to move that wire down this, and then I got my hole on the outside here. Obviously, that painted fender piece right here, so this is all going to be blocked, and right now I'm just going to I stopped at this point just to see what grommet I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my calipers out, turn that thing on, zero it out, and I just want to make sure I got the right grommet for this deal. Oops, sorry. So, it'll focus. What are we, 0.48. So what I want to do now is I'm going to put this down for a minute. Here, I'm just going to support this. And then I got me a nice grommet set right here. And I'm basically going to take, heck, I don't know. I think one of these looks about what it's at right now. And then I'm basically going to run this thing in there. See where it gets. Pretty close. Wow. 4.7. So we're at 0.48 over there. We're at 0.47 on this grommet. So right here, that's the grommet I'm going to use. So I'll take it over there. Grab this thing. And basically, I'll have a grommet. Yeah, I'm gonna run a wire in there before I get it all the way seated in there. But you see, I'll have a grommet there, protect the wire. Should be good to go. So super cool. That's how you do that. Make sure you're not chafing anything, not freaking, you know, cutting through any wires on your trail riding, and yeah, should be golden. So now that I got the holes run, I'm gonna run a dummy wire in there, and I'm gonna have to splice this Polaris freaking wiring harness so that I can run it through, because you know, they don't think about this stuff ahead of time, and they give you all these freaking super fat ends that they expect you to run through stuff. So kind of a bummer. I like how on the rigid light bar, you literally have these super tiny ends, which you can't see now because I have it all wrapped, but they give you a wiring harness that plugs into this, and then there's a skinny end that has like freaking barrel connectors, and you can feed through everything. Why they don't do that on everything is beyond me, but whatever. I'm gonna splice it, I'll freaking feed it through, and then I'll put it back together, wrap it, seal tight it, and we'll be golden. But moving right along, not as fast as I'd want. It's actually been a pretty slow project, but I'm taking it easy. And when you're doing all this little fine detail stuff, it really just adds time. But for me, it's worth it. So, all right, moving on. Woo, doggy, holy smokies. Holy shit, man. I tell you, this Pro R, I'm freaking spitting, sweating over here too. This Pro R is a wiring nightmare, dude, for real. Especially if you care about freaking making everything super clean and nice. I got the whole entire chase light wired in. It is done, complete. Looks so sick. Oh, it's just so perfect. The wire right there, you see? Got that thing grounded up, freaking ran down there, freaking beautiful. I got everything ran through. I mean, what makes everything so difficult with this compared to like the Pro XPs is obviously you got your clutches back here, then you got the tunnel for the freaking air, and then you don't have this freaking whole area to run stuff anymore. And I came from the back forward, so I had, you know, those big relays and, you know, the freaking bus bar connections and all that stuff, and I had to be really careful. You cannot have anything by a drive shaft, obviously, and I am not going to risk anything one bit whatsoever. So there's like this little tiny pocket that I kind of followed through with these wires. I don't know if you can see them or not, but basically had to kind of unhook this bottom seat pan, battery pan, or whatever you want to call it, and get those relays through there. But I did, and everything is freaking here. If I can get some light on here for you. But I did that and got everything dialed in, looking super nice, really good, really clean, all the way in there. Everything's wired in, switch is wired in, and there she is. And then for the chase light, you got, you know, obviously your on and off, and then you got selectors right here. So you just kind of click up, and I think there's like 11 or 13 or 14 or, hold on. Where was I at? On the freaking switch. That's what I think I was doing. So like I said, you got the on, off, and then, you know, it's selectable, changes the different modes. And what I'm gonna do is, because I can't be on the camera and hitting the switch at the same time, so I'm gonna throw a GoPro back there. I'll mount it on the freaking trunk, and I'll show you real quick all the different modes that this thing does. It's really freaking awesome.
Early the next morning.
All right, what's up? So next day I had a freaking gun banquet to go to, so I kind of dipped out of here at like 5 o'clock and just left everything the way it was. And yeah, me, Jeremy, Ashton, Ashton's girlfriend Mallory, and Sam Squanch, my buddy Chris, went and Sam Squanch won a gun. That was awesome. Nice freaking revolver. I didn't win anything for like the first time ever. Like I always go to these gun banquets, and like it's like a big joke between all of us. Like I always walk out of there with free guns. Like it's crazy. So it was odd that I didn't. It was weird, but I'm glad Chris won one. So it was super cool. Anyways, I was freaking running around putting on the rock lights and all that stuff, and I did get the 5150 mounts mounted in here in the back. Just had to basically make the plastic hole that they had already there bigger. So got those mounted up. They're not wired up, but I'm just taking a break from that deal, and I just wanted to put this on real quick. I got this I got this Sector 7 friggin' camera spacer mount is what they want to call it for the Razor Pro R. And basically what happens is the typical freaking angle of this mount here that's kind of molded into the plastic makes your camera, you know, it just doesn't give it the best view. But Sector 7 claims that with their bracket it gives you a better view. So we're gonna test that out, see. You know, it's pretty much inexpensive, but it is a nice billet piece. So you can see that, and obviously that's gonna go there and basically change the trajectory of that camera. So I'm curious to see. We got Austin's, maybe we could do like a comparison when it's on, but pretty simple deal. You're basically gonna take the bed out of your Razor, and you're gonna come through here, and I'm putting 2 screws in, if you guys can see right there, and it'll screw this plate basically into there. They do give you a nice little template that you just line up with that freaking line, tape it on there, and then you're gonna put 2 holes right there where the X marks the spot. So yeah, I'm gonna put that on real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. Looks really good on the back of there, I gotta be honest. It's actually really slick. Super easy to install, really. Just make sure you got that template lined up really good, and I mean, this thing is, I mean, it looks flawless. It really freaking pops. I like it. I dig it a lot. And you know, when I screwed this thing down, I basically just took my Allen wrench. If you got a wrench like this is gonna make this install super easy. But I just went right through this bracket, and you can get the perfect angle on them Allen heads. So super easy, not a big deal. Hopefully it'll be worth it. And the only thing left to do here is pretty much put the camera back in. So there is a top, obviously, and you do have a notch, which they have in there. Just feed this thing back through, line that up, and voila, that's nice and tight. Heck yeah, that's cool. I like that. It's nice they got their name on there and everything, and got all that etched out. Very cool. And that is on a much better angle, I gotta be honest. Alright, so we got the 5150s all freaking wired up. I found out a slick way to freaking run all the rock lights. I was a little concerned about that. It kind of pissed me off the way that they're designed. And they come with hardware that I don't know if anybody in America is actually using. I mean, it's literally pointless except for like the most minute type of application. For the most part, you know, around where you need to do this stuff, the hardware they're sending with this stuff is just, it's not going to work. But whatever, it don't really matter, because what does matter is they're on, and they freaking look sick. So I got it set to a freaking Murica pattern right there, and it is looking good. So good. I mean, this whole thing is just flashing. I'll turn the lights off real quick and show you guys what it looks like. But yeah, it looks really good. I got 5150 rock light in the front grille, one above each freaking wheel well. I got one under the seat. There's nowhere really to put one under the passenger seat right now, so I basically just abandoned that, tucked that wire away, capped it off, and I am gonna, when I get back from this trip, I'm gonna fabricate something, because there's really nothing under that passenger seat to freaking mount anything to, and you got the fuel cell under there, so you don't want to do anything like crazy like that. Got the one there, and then obviously we got the whip, so looking good. I'm gonna have to work on getting some flags, which will be nice. But yeah, looks really good. I'm super stoked to have that finished. That was a nightmare. A lot of wiring to get that done. But it's all good. It's all done. All right. So with that being done, I kind of was getting a little tired, and with everything else to get going, packing up and doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't even have my bags packed, no clothes packed. Food I have barely even thought about. Amy and Kinsey are working on that, so I think we're going to be able to freaking just pass the buck off on them with the food situation, besides a few things I'll probably pick up from the diner. Other than that, well, point is that I was kind of done. I said everything else I'm just going to do when I get back home, but I have most everything already off. I buttoned up the freaking center column already. I put the freaking hood back on and everything. But I still have the fenders off. I still have the rocker off. I might as well just pull this off. And the thing is obnoxious. I might as well just freaking pull that thing back off, pull that off, and I might as well install the rugged radios. I mean, God forbid something happened out there and I needed a radio to somebody. I'd hate to not have it knowing it was sitting in here in the box. So, I don't know. I freaking took a little break. I went inside, hung out with the family, and I'm feeling a little bit rejuvenated. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and try to tackle it. It's not that big a deal. I think I should be able to whip this thing out in about an hour, and then it'll, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, because I'm at the cut into the freaking center console. You guys know how we like to mount those rugged radios. I still don't like the new mount that even Rugged designed for the Pro R, or an updated version for the Pro XP. It still leaves a little something to be desired, in my opinion. Like the old one, you had to cut all this out, and then it went all the way down here, whatever. And then the new version, you only cut this bottom row out, and then it kind of comes here, but it freaking still leaves some gaps. And I know, like, for out here on the East Coast, when we go into some muddy terrain and we're power washing this, I mean, that water is going to go directly back behind there, straight into the radios, cause problems. Maybe not. It's supposed to be waterproof, but I mean, I still don't like the idea of it getting packed with mud or any potential possibilities if we decide to get a little wild. So I am going to go with the route that I learned on ours. So, you know, I'll be cutting this entire thing out and then basically mounting that plate right here. So I'm just going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to get it done. And other than that, I'm pretty happy on everything, how everything's turned out. Looks really good. So we got the door bags, we got the freaking lower valence, we got the entire 5150 kit besides that passenger seat light. We got the rigid light bar on there, we got the rigid chase light on there. I don't know, looks good. Oh, and then I did put the, I did get the Polaris front camera, so I got that on there, looking good. And then we have that Sector 7, you know, rear camera plate, and that looks good. And the only one thing I do gotta get, I left enough slack here, like on the Ghost. I had those like 5150 clamps that kind of go around the little bases, and it basically, oh, did I give myself enough room here? Uh-oh. Hold on. All right, we're good. Almost had a little bit of a panic there, but it looks like we're good. It was just hung up on something, but like I was saying, I need to get the little freaking mount clamp like I had on the Ghost, where it sits around this, and then it basically just holds this right here. So looks really good. I like it. It's going to be nifty. Thing's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. And this one, same freaking deal here. So going to look good. Maybe I'll go to Bob's this week and get those clips, now that Bob's is a 5150 dealer. So, oh yeah, I gotta tell you another thing. So when you guys are ordering this 5150 stuff, don't assume you get a power harness for it. Like literally, ordered the 5150 whips, the rock lights, the freaking Bluetooth controller, the switch, the I don't know, you know, all the crap that you need. I never even assumed that getting the freaking harness was an option. I mean, I would think that, you know, you spend that kind of money on a set of whips, you should definitely be given what it takes to freaking hook them up. But evidently, that's an add-on accessory, of course, and I didn't have it. I had every single thing to get this started last night, and didn't have one. But luckily, called Justin over at Bob's, knowing that they're a 5150 dealer now, and I said, hey, any chance you got a spare power harness for the 5150 kit? And he said, I sure do. And I said, well, I was going to that gun banquet, and I said, I ain't gonna make it out there right away. He's like, don't worry, man, I'll hide it for you around the building. Just, gave me a location where he put it, and he said, come and get it when you get time. So that was awesome. And then Aiden and Lexi actually ended up driving all the way out there while I was at the gun banquet and picked that up so I could start that last night. So pretty cool, very cool. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that center console panel back off, and I'm gonna start putting this rugged radios in. So see ya.